I'm Howard Greenberg,
I'm Greenberg Hameed,
and we're at the corner of
College and Lewis Botha Street.
Botha Street.
That's right. We are downtown Centon. This 4-kilometer radius controls the economic power of the entire continent of Africa.
From here in Johannesburg.
That's right.
We want to talk to you today about a new event which occurred yesterday.
Seems like every day we're watching the news and there's another headline change in the world of immigration. We have a new minister.
So this event is worth talking about. The Prime Minister shuffled the whole cabinet, and after the shuffle was over and the cards were dealt, our minister's new name is?
It's the same name he had yesterday, Mark Mayer.
Mark Mayer. And Mark Mayer's constituency is in?
Quebec.
In Quebec. So Mark's our new minister, and he's been sworn in, and Minister Fraser, our old minister, is now in charge of
housing. He's looking for a place for all the immigrants to live.
So what are the implications of having a new minister? Let's go back a couple of weeks to the Collision Conference, where Minister Fraser made an important and substantial announcement.
Minister Fraser was on a roll. He had introduced a number of new initiatives. We saw the H-1B lottery, the H-1B open work permit process come into play, the 82 occupations of express entry. Then he talked about a 5-year innovation work permit. He was talking about opening up the startup visa to a 3-year open work permit. And he was also talking about 2-week processing for work permits.
Well. What does this mean when you have a transfer of a minister in the middle of a policy?
Well, we've seen this before. Typically takes 6 months for a minister first to understand the lay of the land, then to start reaching out to stakeholders, understanding what their position is, and then slowly engaging in policy initiatives.
Well, I imagine people are working feverishly in Ottawa to create his binder of briefing notes, if they're still binders these days.
Correct.
And then he needs a staff.
That's right.
And he didn't start with a staff because he didn't come from another ministry. So he needs a policy, director of policy, he needs a chief of staff. So all of this takes. What do you think this means about Minister Fraser's timeline on his new initiatives that he announced?
Well, it's interesting. When you observe the changes, we see that the 82 occupations are being processed right now. We did see the 10,000 work permits, but we haven't seen any instructions of any consequence at this point on the other initiatives, the innovation work permit. We haven't seen anything officially on the startup open work permit for 3 years, and I haven't seen the 2-week processing, although I've heard talk about it. So I'm not sure how far along we are.
Well, we're going to get a hint. Every time there's a shuffle and new ministers are in place, the Prime Minister issues each one of these ministers a mandate letter. And in that mandate letter, he expresses his wishes as to what the minister should accomplish during the term of his tenure. And this is a very, very important term. That's why the shuffle was so extensive, because this is probably the last shuffle before the next election. And Canadians are going to have their last look at our leaders before they vote.
Look, I think it'll be fascinating. We saw Minister Sean Fraser was very aggressive in new changes we hadn't seen before. The last minister that was this aggressive was Minister Kenny. And now we have a new person coming into play from the province of Quebec. And we hear a little bit of talk about, some more balancing between priorities for employers and concerns on immigration. So who knows what his position will be?
Well, certainly the H-1B petition path has been completed, but we always like to see easy facilitation to Canada. But that one's got me scratching my head a bit. 10,000 workers will be here in 3 to 6 months if they take us up on the offer of the work permit. And where are they going to
live, and who are the workers? H-1B is a specialty occupation, and the talk was bringing IT workers, but it wasn't limited to IT knock. So could it be that 30, 40, 50% of those people come into occupations that weren't actually in demand? We don't know yet.
Well, I think immigration is going to be a much more extensive and hot topic amongst Canadians as the housing market heats up even more and more immigrants arrive in the normal course. And I also think that there's going to be some further discussion about whether it's appropriate to give open work permits and allow people to come to Canada and not be governed by any rules or restrictions. I think all this means that more consultations are coming with a new minister.
Agreed. I mean, even in speaking with our larger employers, the discussion is how do you manage a huge population of workers with open status and no conditions, right? What policy do you have to introduce to take into account that they could come in today and be gone tomorrow?
And what about the project they're working on?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone. This is Howard Greenberg and Noman Hameed
At the corner.
Take
Take care.
Back to you soon.